we have shared in the email. So we'll start and we'll do a little introduction of Dr. Ravi, and then the webinar will start. Please stay with us till the launch of Collins Evaluate. We'll have question and answers at 5:30, and 5:40 is when we conclude the session. So please stay with us till then. Yeah. And if you have anything to say, you have any ideas, any thoughts, any questions, any queries that you may have, please use the chat window, and you can raise your hands as well, just in case if you want to speak, right? So please raise your hands, we'll unmute you, and you'll be able to ask your questions. So Preeti, I think we can, yeah, sure. So shall we start? Yeah. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the session on all about assessments and the launch of Collins Evaluate. Before we start the webinar, would like to thank all of you for taking out time from your busy schedules to be with us this evening. We at Collins Learning promise to be there to make this journey productive and enjoyable for all of you, not just today, but for the coming years too. Now let's get to know a little about Dr. Ravi. Dr. Ravi has vast experience and domain knowledge in the field of education, which makes her a champion in understanding how to better the learning ecosystem. Being a part of the changing educational landscape for over 4 decades, Dr. Ravi applies her depth of knowledge while interacting with different stakeholders involved in school education. The rich experience that she has gathered as an educationist, administrator, principal, trustee, director of education, chairman, and managing director of a consulting firm enables Dr. Ravi to critically analyze the strengths and weaknesses of the system and deliver the most appropriate solutions. I now welcome Dr. Ravi to take this session forward. Please do use the chat box to convey your thoughts, your ideas, queries, if any. Would look forward to an active participation. Thank you so much. Dr. Ravi, request you to take this session forward.
Namaste. Good evening to each one of you. Congratulations to the Collins team. This morning, I had a wonderful experience with Collins and their new process about the evaluate process, and it was wonderful. Nidhi took it so well. And I'm very glad to be associated with Collins as a speaker for principals and teachers. And good evening to each one of you out there, principals and teachers. And very, very, very hearty congratulations to you, because you had been taking the schools all along through these tough times so very effectively. I mean it, not a lip service that I'm making. I mean it. It was a wonderful thing. You had been celebrating several events virtually, several competitions and several activities virtually you were doing, making the children feel that they have not lost anything. It is not a small job. You've been doing a great job. Congratulations to each one of you. Pat yourself on your back. Okay, so today the topic that Collins has wanted to highlight was all about assessments. So all about assessments is a very, very essential and very important topic for the simple reason that it is a tool that assessment is a platform for you to know whether you were successful in your educational endeavor. You are running schools, you are teaching there, you are heading schools, whether you were doing a satisfactory job there for your own self and for the benefit of the children. Assessment helps you to a large extent, and parents depend a lot on assessment and your feedback on that. So all about assessments, I'm going to deal with you certain things, particularly based on the new education policy. Now, this is not a platform for discussing new education policy, but let me tell you my humble understanding about the whole new education policy is that if only this new education policy is implemented, I am putting that word implemented underlining, if it is happening, then there is nothing to stop India from becoming the best country as far as education is concerned. It is so very well drafted. It also gives emphasis on several areas. Assessment and evaluation also is one of that. So all about assessments is leading you to that, though it is not exactly dealing with the assessment and evaluation of NEP. All right. So let us see all about assessment here. I'll be touching upon the first few things in a very, very casual way, because most of you, not most, all of you know many things about that. What is the purpose of assessment? What are the types of learning that we have to understand? Principles of assessment, assessment tools, what and how to assess, the best form of assessment, addressing diverse needs, differentiated instruction needs, differentiated evaluation, progress of skills, asking good questions, and feedback. The first four of them are very well known to you. So I will be casually mentioning and going maybe in first 5 or 6 minutes I would be doing with that. Purpose of assessment is to get a full range of information gathered and synthesized by the teachers in the classrooms about the learning activities of the children. Children come to school to learn, which is understood by everyone. What are they learning? How are they learning? It is essential that the teacher makes a very constructive report about the learning activities of the children, and assessment is done for that purpose. Now, this also identifies the various aptitudes and attitudes to learning of different achieving standards. Something which is not really happening in today's assessment is this sentence: aptitudes and attitudes. Today, whatever assessments are happening, be it online assessment or offline assessment or descriptive or non-descriptive, whatever, they are dealing with primarily the intellectual assessment. What is it is not giving a very clear direction to the feedback, to the parents, in form of feedback as to what is the aptitude of the child, what is the attitude of the child, what is his development concerning that. That has not been discussed so far, but that is part of the assessment. It has been the responsibility of the schools even earlier also. It had been, it is going to be, it would be. So there is no change in that. Then, to give a comprehensive information about the progress of a child to goals of learning. What are the goals, academic goals of the school, particularly in general? What are the goals, particularly to the school, as far as the school is concerned? What are the academic goals for the school? So the purpose of assessment is for doing all these things, a holistic kind of an information about the child's learning. This everybody knows it. Now, what are the different types of learning? There are 3 different types of learning. You all know it: the cognitive learning, affective learning, and psychomotor learning. All of you know it. You've been doing it through B.Ed and Masters in Education. You've been doing it. So this is not something new. But when it comes to assessment, I am seriously concerned whether the 2 and the 3 are happening. First is definitely happening. Intellectually, academically, the children are assessed so beautifully by various means. Okay, but affective learning and psychomotor learning they are rarely touched upon. The reason being, there are no clear-cut instructions given by anyone. Neither experts have given anything as far as school education is concerned, nor the common people have been adopting that. I mean, the teachers also have not been adopting any such measures. Therefore, assessment must be done holistically. If you want to do assessment in a holistic manner, if assessment, all about assessment is for learning and not of learning, then you need to include all the 3 above. So you can ask questions to yourself. Some of the schools may be doing it, then to them I must say congratulations to them. But those who are not doing, they can look forward to how you can do it. Okay, so skills acquired and the social and emotional development of the child. What are the types of assessment possible? Types of learning is possible. I have just explained. Types of assessment possible are, there are 4 types of assessment possible. One is a diagnostic assessment, formative assessment, interim assessment, and summative assessment. All the 4 exist today in the schools. Most of them exist. Diagnostic assessment is something which the teacher, by virtue of, when a teacher starts a class, she would want to test the previous knowledge of the child, right? And then she will be proceeding to the new lesson, whatever it is. So the gap between what the child knows and what the child has understood now, that gap is usually called the diagnostic analysis. Okay, which the teacher needs to do it. If not by any, there are no clear-cut, what do you call, standardized kind of tests or anything like that for the teachers. Usually, by virtue of their knowledge about the children, the caliber of the children, by noticing them, observing them. So the diagnostic part of the analysis is usually considered to be happening while the teacher is working. She knows about it, she or he knows about it. Okay. Now, formative assessment is something which happens continuously across your sessions. Like across, suppose you are teaching one particular unit, and then you are assessing the students whether that unit has been understood intellectually by the children, whether it has created any kind of an impact on the children, whether they are up to the mark with their skills. So those are all the things which has been done in formative. And primarily formative analysis is the one. Formative assessment is something which has been usually considered to be the best, because it gives you a direction where you are going, a kind of an what do you call, an idea to the teachers, whether the goals, educational objectives or learning objectives are very well crafted, and are they satisfying the needs, or should they change the goals, etc., etc. So formative assessment is a continuous approach. Interim assessment is which happens on a daily basis in the class. When the teacher completes a class, she will be asking questions to know whether did you understand. And did you understand is a question which time immemorial we teachers had been asking the children. Now, let me tell you, I want to make a small correction. Understand is a word which has no, did you understand? If I ask you one question, there is no way for me to realize whether you have understood it or not. So if the teacher is asking the students, did you understand it? They have to say yes or no. And that yes or no also has no meaning. Don't know. So understanding has different verbs like differentiation, association, recognition, identification, okay, assimilation. These are all similar words of understanding for the teacher to understand whether the student has understood or not. Now, interim assessment is in between the class. What is happening? Little bit the teacher has taught, now whether it has been understood or not. Now, summative assessment is something which is done usually, like most of the schools do it, a term end examination or an annual examination, which you do. This is off learning. Whatever has been happening all the way, you have put them all together and you have consolidated the knowledge of the children. And this is called assessment of learning, whatever has been learned, whereas formative is for learning. So most importantly, you will have to dwell on as a formative assessment. The principals and teachers need to seriously work on formative assessment. Principles of assessment is, assessment must be valid. Your assessment must be always a valid assessment. It should be reliable. It should be transparent. It should be inclusive. Valid assessment means it should test what it is expected to test. Suppose you are testing, you have taught the children about a poem, and the poem is appreciation of a Wordsworth poem or something like that. And if it is appreciation of nature, etc., that is what is expected, and the child has to beautifully describe how the poet is describing nature. If that was the expectation of you, then the questions that you are going to ask should be pertaining only to that. It should be valid with respect to the concept that you had been teaching them. Reliable means even if you use 10 number of questions, 10 or 15 questions, they should all be consistent. The same kind of testing, matlab, whatever you wanted to test them should be happening consistently. That is reliability factor. Transparent in the sense it should tell you very clearly. The test should give instructions to the students. The student should be, when a question paper goes to the student should be knowing what is he expected to write down. What is he expected to express himself with? So those transparencies, clarities are very essential in a question. And inclusive, it must include all kinds of children. It should be taking care of every single learner need. So it has to be inclusive. So when a question paper, usually when I was a principal long back, we had a system wherein the staff, the head of the department would be setting up a question paper, will be coming to me, sitting with me, describing that this is what we have done, this is what we have done. And it used to be a very healthy interaction with me. So I used to suggest to them, though I'm not teaching any of your subject, as a head of an institution, I have a responsibility to guide the teachers instructionally. I have to guide them as to what they can think of changing. And they were all very excellent teachers. And so they took it in a very positive way. I would request all the principals to do that. You have to know what your teachers are testing the children with, whether the assessment has all these principles incorporated. Then the next one is assessment tools. What are the tools which you use usually to assess the children? One is an informal tool, which is usually what you see in teacher. In a normal class, the teacher will be observing. The teacher, while she teaches also, the teacher will be knowing who's listening, who's not listening, what is behind his learning, something is okay or not okay. The observation of the teachers is informal, okay? And the formal assessment tool is the one which you usually give paper pencil test or activity or laboratory experiment or 20 marks for assessment evaluation, whatever. They are formal. Some people do activities. So they observe the students, how they are doing the activity, what is the kind of a teamwork that they are doing, the way they have envisaged the concept, the way they are attempting to answer those questions. So activities is another form of questioning. So that is a tool. The assessment, actually, all the assessments, whatever, whether you are using these three formula, the three methods or any other methods, it must test their aptitude, attitude, and skill while creating the test items. So while the teacher is preparing the test item is actually, I mean, the question. When the test item is done, many things can be assessed through non-test also, which is informal. Okay, so that also is important, how you assess the student and appropriately classify the student's learning. Very important. What and how of assessment. Now, this onwards, we have to go a little deeper into assessment. This is very, very important. What to assess? What do you want to assess in a child? Now, I told you about the different types of learning. So there is cognitive learning, that is the intellectual subjects you are giving. Like you have major 6 subjects. You have English, mathematics, science, all types of science. Second language you have history, geography, computer science, all these major subjects you have. Then you have non-scholastic subjects, PE, performing arts, and several other subjects also. Now, of all these things, what is it that you want to assess? Do you want to assess the children for what knowledge they have gathered? Or do you want to assess whether the children have done justice to the academic objectives which had been designed for learning those lessons? Or is it that the students have acquired some additional information and skill to apply those things in a new situation? So these are all some of the things which you have to decide. So what to assess is very important. And I would suggest the first one, according to me, there are only three major important things which encompasses the entire holistic assessment of the students. One is academic mastery. Children come to school for this, the academic knowledge primarily. Primarily, they come for assimilating academic information, inputs from the teachers. What do these subjects teach them? How they can use these subjects in a new situation and go on in their life. So academic mastery is extremely important for you, which otherwise you can even say the intellectual inputs and outputs. The inputs will be by the teachers and the output will be by the students in the form of assessments. So academic mastery is something. Then effective domain development. How is their social and emotional development happening? Through the lessons, whatever be the lessons. Like, for example, if we are taking the NCERT syllabus or the CBSE or whatever syllabus you take, standard 1 has got all about me, my family, then the transport systems, the people who helped me, my neighborhood, directions. So many chapters are there. Some 19 chapters or something like that are there. Okay. So by doing all these things, academic mastery you have given already by doing whatever good method of education, be it blended learning or non-blended learning or face-to-face learning, whatever it is, you have given the knowledge to the students. Fair enough. Your intellectual inputs are given, intellectual outputs you will be capable enough to test them. Fair. But how do you know all these 19 chapters, what impact all these chapters, 19 chapters, have made on a 6-year-old kid? The social development of the child, the emotional development of the child, there is at the moment, there isn't anything. I have not seen. If the schools are there already doing something great work towards this, salutations to all those schools. I would be extremely happy. You can inform me. I will be projecting you all over whenever my next webinar comes up. But as of now, as far as I know, the social and emotional development of the children and to assess the children on that platform is not touched upon. That is one of the lacuna. And why is it important for you? Because the national educational policy is seriously insisting on the psychological development of the children. So if that is being insisted upon, if it is going to come to your classrooms as a mandate for you to teach, it is high time that you think about ways and means by which you can assess the effective domain development. very important for you. The third one is the psychomotor development. This particularly in two aspects we can consider the psychomotor development. Some people call it as physical development also. In the smaller classes, we can call it as psychomotor development because the preschoolers and the primary school children, they need a lot of jumping, running and stretching their fingers and limbs movement, and all those things are extremely important. So sports and other activities are very important for them. So even the performing arts, you have music, dance is also a physical development. So dance, then music, okay, and then you have other art, craft, okay, PE. So these are all the performing arts. How are you assessing them? Their assessment is very important. Now, as of now, if I understand, those non-academic subjects are assessed based on certain 50% of the assessment will be on practical mode. The PE teacher will be making them jump or do exercises or whatever it is, and their health chart is also made and they assess. The other 50 is certain questions are given by the PE teachers or art craft teachers. In some schools, those practices are there. It is also included into the progress report. Now, this is satisfying only 50% of the requirement. There are other developments which are essential here in psychomotor development, which is known as the way the students are able to do an activity. You are incorporating group activities while you use methodology, isn't it? It's different methodologies to teaching. So blended learning is incorporating several methods into it. This morning I was discussing about inquiry-based learning, flipped classrooms. I was talking about graphic designers, thematic learning, flow chart, and several methods are there. You may be using any of those methods in your classrooms. There is no hassle about it. But in all of these methods, the fundamental requirement is grouping the students into small groups. What is the way you assess the students in those group activities, where the children are moving, they are doing activities with their limbs, they are doing pasting, they are jumping, they are showing, they are explaining. Whenever an open house is coming up, they are doing group activities. How are you assessing it? And where is the way, or how is it that you are presenting the feedback to the students? I have heard some schools, some teachers usually tell the parents that your son or daughter is too good. He can speak very well in a crowd, in front of a crowd. This is all fine. They are oral. Show it on the paper. How will you show it on the paper? Because in tomorrow's world, all these students will have to take all these transcripts you are taking, that is your profiles or the assessment records that you are giving. The students will require all that for their higher studies wherever they go in the world. So make your student profile include all these three aspects that I'm discussing now as a comprehensive holistic model of assessment. Okay, how of assessment. Now, how of assessment is really the fundamental, there's a fundamental rule for assessment. At least I believe in that. I do not know how many of you people agree to it. The same yardstick does not fit well with all children as they differ in their learning style. Think about a normal classroom. Suppose you have 30 or 35 children in a normal classroom. There may be the classroom structure would be like, I may say 10 students would be, or less than 10, maybe 7, 8 students will be extremely weak in studies as far as your standards are concerned. I'm not saying they are weak. I do not agree to the point that any child is weak. Nobody can be weak in this world because the creation is perfect. When anybody is perfect, that perfect person cannot create anything bad. It is because either we are not doing a justifiable job, or we are not touching him, or his brain is not touched upon those areas where the child will be getting it like a curiosity to learn. That could be the flaw. Okay, so each child has a way of learning. Some people read loudly and then learn, then only they will remember whatever they learn. Some people, it is a silent reading. Some people, their mother or father will sit and read, these people will be doing something or the other, they will learn. For some people, the TV or the music will be on and they will be learning. Some people, it is by closing their eyes and visualizing something. Some people learn by doing. So when there are different learning styles, how is it possible that you can assess the students with the same yardstick, with the same paper pencil test, with the same goals? This is something which you will have to seriously think about it, because the new education policy demands that. So by 2023, you have to be seriously prepared with a foolproof system so that you don't end up in a mess. This is something. So how to do it? Let me give you how you can do it. So I'm going to give you in detail how you can do that. But how to do it, and I can actually handhold you through doing it, but then it will go for days together. So I'm only giving you a framework. Note it down in your mind and start now itself. You will be reopening your schools very shortly. So call your head of the department, sit with them and do this exercise. The first and the foremost thing you have to think, if you want to include all the three aspects of assessment to be included, then you divide first the school into the needs of the student. See, the preschoolers have a set of needs, learner needs. Primary school has a set of learner needs. Middle school, that is 5 to 8, the new category you know very well. So that section also has a different set of goals or needs. Okay, then the higher section. So you have to have the school, the pre-primary, the primary, the middle school, and the senior school. So what are their academic goals? Now, I don't
Dr. Ravi.
Ji, yes.
Dr. Ravi, so Anita Guruji ma'am is on YouTube with us, and she has commented, we had included in relation with Corona warriors, teaching the students respecting community helpers, importance of following rules.
Wonderful, wonderful, great, madam. Wonderful thing, great thing you are doing. So that is a social awareness that you are creating, and you know, this will last with those, what's the name of the person?
Anita Guruji.
Anita Guruji, ma'am.
Anita Guruji.
Pranams to you, Anita Guruji, ma'am. You had been doing a brilliant job. Please do understand from Anita Guruji, ma'am, how she has been doing it. The other schools will be benefited then. Please do share it. That is a brilliant job, because you know that tells about the social responsibility of the children. The social and emotional needs also come in there. Very good. Congratulations. I'm so glad about it. So coming back to this, I would suggest that the academic goals of the schools be decided. I do not know how many schools have done this, because this is something pretty serious that I'm talking about, at least in the wake of new education policy. What it means is that, say, pre-primary schools, I am taking, let us say, English. When I take, or language for that matter, what are the academic goals of the pre-primary schools in learning English and languages? Have you decided? What are the academic goals of the primary section children in learning English and second language? The same way for the middle school, the same way for the senior section. If you have decided it, then put it into bullet points. The first point is that, if at all, some examples I can give. The preschoolers, it could be the language development and the English learning could be to develop communication skill, to develop the speaking skills, to develop the reading and the writing skills, and understand scripts. First, A to Z, or whatever language you are Venjan, or whatever you are teaching in second language or language learning, please do make it obviously clear that the preschool teachers need to be told by the principal before the school starts that, look, my very dear teachers, these are the 5 or 6 set of rules are meant for teaching English and second language, teaching mathematics. What is the concept of mathematics you want? You wanted your children to understand the patterns in nature. You understand that nature is, the patterns are very much within them, and geometry is within them, shapes, the space, etc. Those are the concepts you wanted the preschoolers to understand. Even sometimes it can extend to the primary school as well. Okay. Then similarly, write about the social studies or the EVS. What are the goals? What are the goals for, similarly for computer learning? Like that, subject wise, make your head of the department of the schools sit with the teachers and define your academic goals. This will help you, let me tell you, my very dear principals, this will help you to guide your teachers as to how they can moot their own teachers towards adopting any suitable methodology that will meet with the academic goals. So subject wise, section wise, decide your academic goal. This is the first step you have to do. Second thing is, take a stock of the caliber of your children. This is very important. Now, when I mean to say caliber, do not get it in a wrong connotation. I just mean to say their intellectual level, understanding level of your children. Meaning to say, what are their learning styles? Try to understand that. Hell, ask your teachers to group those children who learn in a particular way, group those children who learn in a different way, understand which way you can attract their attention, and classify them according to the caliber. This is extremely important because, as I mentioned, the same yardstick does not apply all children. And you have learned also now, during the online assessment, it was working wonders for you. It was rather easy for you. You could do individual assessment of the child. Very beautifully, you could give inputs to the teachers, isn't it? So utilize this online assessment for giving individual difference and that respect for the individual difference. Is it possible? It's possible. Then use creative processes to break assessment barriers through design thinking. Now, this design thinking is something which I had been yelling at from the rooftop for last 1 year to all the principals. And it is going to seriously take shape in the coming years for you. So whether we like it or not, design thinking is there, going to stay there. Now, how it will stay, what is it? Now, it is not a very heavy engineering language at all. Design thinking is there in our mind. All of us are, all of us, you, me, even the housewives or the ordinary people walking on the road, they're all designers in one way or the other. They all have an intent. It only needs some kind of a thought, an intent to do something. A design thinking is like that. An intent to do something, empathize with that. So there is a problem. Empathize with the problem. Understand the problem. That is the first step. Second step is dissect the problem. Define the problem into simpler steps. So if you have a problem in the school, say for example, principals are dealing with hundreds of children, so thousands of children. So there are several children who are not able to get where you wanted them to grow with. So there are some issues with you. Some children, how much ever you give special attention to them, they are not learning. So design thinking is the method for you to solve that. How you will solve it? You will assess their needs, study them very well. What is the thing you have done there? IEP, individual education program you've been doing. You've been simply assessing teachers and others to do extra classes for them. Still, they are not doing. One of the things, let me tell you, what I had seen, which I have corrected with my teachers, is that we have got the uh, something called redressal classes, redressal classes, in the sense certain children cannot understand what is being taught in the class. Okay, so with the permission of the parents, we keep the students at school after school hours, maybe half an hour or 45 minutes, and entrust the responsibility to some responsible teachers to make the students, some 5 6 students would be there on part of the school. We will be giving the teachers some kind of a remuneration, and the teachers would be working with those special children who really needed help. Okay, so what the teachers were doing, when I was casually assessing, and I had a method of asking them, I follow it up very well. So what is the improvement in the next examination or terminal examination or interim assessment? What is their progress? I wouldn't be seeing any progress sometimes. Very rarely I see progress. So what is the purpose of doing this redressal classes? What is the use in doing it? So one day I asked them, how are you doing it? So suppose what they were doing is, suppose on that particular day, if the teacher is handling a particular lesson on grammar, let us say she is talking about transitive verbs or intransitive verbs. If the teacher is doing some lessons on that, these children have not understood it. So in the classes, in after that is in the remedial classes after school hours, these children are once again taught the same thing. Now that is not what is remedial class is. Why did they not understand in the regular class this transitive and intransitive verb? That is where the teacher needs to give the intent. The teacher has to make a design. How to solve that issue? It is not that the transitive verb or intransitive verb is a problem. The fundamental problem of the child is that he or she has not even understood what is a verb. Forget a transitive and intransitive verb. Forget a direct object or an indirect object. All right. So the fundamental problem of the children needs to be addressed in remedial classes. That is where one has to seriously design. After designing that, after getting that intent, you have to ideate, define it, ideate. How will you do that? What can you do that? Then you engage the children with the different activities, and then observe them, give them guidance, give them the tools required, give them the academic materials required for them, and see how they are proceeding, and then make a prototype of it. Ask the students to recreate that situation. Then you are able to see whether the students have reached there or not. This is design thinking. Is it not possible in any subject in your assessment? It is possible. So you have to break those barriers for creative thinking. Creative processes you need to take it up. Okay, if a child is not able to, some children are doers. They can't speak, they can't write, but they are brilliant. Some are very brilliant with mathematics, but may not be good with English. Some are very good with English, some are not good with mathematics. So we have to understand, design the intent. What is the reason for that? Then you will understand the right brain, the left brain. It is not a problem of the children at all. So we have to be very sympathetic, empathetic to the children, to the needs of the student. So assess them accordingly how they are good at. Like for example, okay, I'll come to it when we do that. Okay, academic assessment is done through assessing vocabulary skills, reading skills, writing skills, and also numeracy. The academic assessment always deal with all these. So English, you will decide what are the competencies, English and language. What are the competencies that I would wish? Now, in this, I used to tell almost every time whenever I meet, at the cost of repetition, I'm saying this here, that, children usually struggle to speak, communicate, isn't it? Especially when it is an English medium institution, some students have a difficulty in communicating in English. Now, have we ever thought, have you ever designed an intent to find out why it is happening? Immediately the answer comes from the teachers is that unka ghar pe aisa hai. They only speak in English. They only speak in Hindi or Marathi or other languages. They don't speak English. It is not necessary, or you can't expect the parents to be all the time talking in English. It's just not possible. And I do not approve it also. Now, especially when your new education policy is telling you to teach in mother tongue from class 1 to 5. I am a staunch follower of that. I believe that it has to happen. Forget your English will automatically come. When the fundamentals are very much in place, when the children have no fear in asking any questions, children will learn. The curiosity is aroused and they are having the courage to ask you questions. They will learn. All right. So here what I was trying to say is that many children find vocabulary less vocabulary. So they will be thinking, fumbling, what word I should use next, or else they will be thinking in their mother tongue and translating it into English. So this is a little bit of a problem connected with the number of words which you are teaching the children. So I was just thinking, and recently, last week, I was just jotting down quite a lot of things about what we can do about assessment and education and teaching and etc. I have written down that each topic, be it mathematics or science or English or language or history, geography, whatever it is, why don't you teachers, the head of the department, write down the vocabulary of those words? In history, geography, it would be history, geography words. In language, it would be language words. In English, it would be vocabulary. In math, it would be mathematical language. Write down those words. It would be, believe me, in one single chapter, and related words. Like, for example, if I'm talking about emotion, is a word, a new word that you have to teach in a class. So emotion, when I say, I would be touching on words like fear, laughter, smile is an emotion, isn't it? Touching, warm. These are all related words. So give the students as many words as possible through sight words. Orally, let the children learn those words. So when the vocabulary gets added, when the numeracy literature gets added, when the history, geography literature gets added, the expression becomes better and your children will be able to perform really, really well. And group activities to assess the skills, attitudes, aptitude, and psychomotor development. Group activities, there are many students in the higher classes, for example, 6th above. How are the students doing the lab activities? How are they holding, even for holding a test tube? When I was a teacher, chemistry teacher, I was very particular about how a student handles an instrument. That is very, very important for me. You know why it is important for me? Suppose a test tube has to be held. I don't want the child to hold the test tube like this. I used to tell them, you have to use only two fingers like this. This is how you will hold the test tube. These fingers are projecting outside. These two fingers are holding. This is how you do. Why it has to be done like that? When you pour the liquid, this is how you pour the liquid. Not like you take a bottle and pour the liquid into it like this. Use only two fingers. In such an aesthetic manner, working in a laboratory is a pleasure. It is a skill. It is a beauty. There is an aesthetics behind it. So teach the students how you have to work in a lab and how you clean your premises, how you clean your There would be chemicals spilt over, liquid spilt over, acid spilt over. How you clean the space. When you clean your apparatus and put it in place, and when you vacate the lab for the day, you can watch the precision of that work. That is a skill. That is a competency. I used to give marks. There are 20 marks allotted for chemistry practicals in the higher classes when I was teaching in Coimbatore. +2 classes I was teaching. So I used to give 20 marks. 19 or 18 I would be giving for their practicals or record work. The 2 marks is for the way they do the work in the laboratory. So whatever group activities they do or individual activities do, the laboratory, the way they walk, the way they communicate, teachers have got a great role to assist them. So group activities is important. And one more thing before we go into it, I wanted to say is that, you know, the aptitude and attitude, I said, aptitude is something very, very important. Attitude will decide the curiosity, the interest, and interest will decide the curiosity, and curiosity will decide the creative thinking. So fundamental is your interest in learning. It is the responsibility of the teachers to create that interest in the children. If they are coming to the school with already a textbook, I'm sorry to say, many teachers come to the school with a textbook and the chalk and the duster, come to the school and science, they deal science book. They read the science book in the class, which is the last thing a science teacher should do. You must walk into the class with only one piece of chalk. The rest should be here. And you should make sure that you are talking and the children are listening to you, interacting with you, asking you hundreds of doubts. That is how science has to be taught. Only English and second language teachers should carry textbooks. The math teacher can carry a textbook, but it should remain closed in the class while she is teaching the mathematics on the board. For dictating the math problem, she or he can open the textbook. How many principals are insisting on this? Ajkal, it is very, very, there are good principals, I'm not denying, but many of them have no time to watch this. You know, all these things create a lot of difference in the minds of the children. So what I mean to say is that the interest and curiosity needs to be developed. Having said that, you know, all the schools have a PTC, parent teacher meeting, wherein you give feedback to the children. I'll be dealing with that also once again. But there, usually what I have seen, usually it may be different for different schools, but what I have usually seen is that the progress reports will be kept there piled up, and 5 minutes or 10 minutes for a parent. The parent would be walking up, sitting across, and the teacher would be taking up the progress report and telling the children, look, your son has done very well in English, then social studies, history, geography, all fine, but you know, he has a little difficulty in mathematics. He's not doing very well in mathematics, and he has got, look, his marks has got only some 25 or 30 in mathematics. Okay, with this kind of a marks, I do not think he will be moving into the next class. So we may have to detain your son or daughter in the class. You will have to work with the student and all that. And the other side, the poor parent is sitting. What do the poor parent knows about? What does he or she know about mathematics and science subjects? They don't know. They don't know how to teach. If they had known, they wouldn't have sent the children to the school, right? So this is not the way the PTC has to be done. If I am a math teacher, or if I am going to talk to the parents like this, I would say, yes, the English, in the 10 minutes given to the parent, English, your son has done like this. You know, we usually ask the students in English, ma'am, the parent, sir, that we test them for their academic and literature and grammar skills. Your son seems to have done very well with grammar and literature. This problem appears to be with vocabulary. So one solution possible is that he can go on for reading. And if you can help him with reading, plenty of times. In 1 minute, if he is able to read some 5 6 words like that, he will be able to quickly he will be able to get the vocabulary into it. And then history, geography, then all that. When it comes to mathematics, where your son has not done really well, 30, I have gone through his math paper, and I understand that your son has done really well with all the arithmetic problems. Okay, arithmetics he has done really well, but your son seems to have a problem with algebra and geometry. So none of the problems with algebra and geometry. And geometry actually requires a spatial visualization, a three-dimensional kind of a structural arrangement. It seems that he is not able to do well those areas. So, this algebra is something which is the fundamental to the higher education in mathematics. So that needs to be stabilized. So I will discuss it with the math teacher, and she will be giving special assignment to your son. And geometry, he needs to have that special illustrations for that. Okay. So geometry, he needs to have a spatial visualization arrangement. That also we will give him practice, and you also can do 1, 2, 3, 4 suggestions. This is the way a PTC needs to be done. When we do such a PTC, the proper feedback is given to the parent, and the parent will lifelong, they will be grateful to you for going so minutely into the assessment for learning. This is very important. And so here we understand that the student's aptitude is towards arithmetic. Meaning to say, arithmetics have written problems, isn't it? Written statement problems. Meaning to say, his English marks were very good. So he has no problem with the written assessment problems. You see the connections? So that is something which you have to seriously remember. Efforts taken by the kids to be notified. This is very often not undertaken at all. Excuse me.
So, ma'am, while you sip water, I'll just read out a few comments that have come in.
Yes.
People are really appreciating the session. They are really appreciative, and they are saying that, ma'am, it's so true. So very true, ma'am. We all agree with you. 100%. There should be no fear of being graded. They will learn only then. So just Kiran ma'am has also written, ma'am, even geography is integrated with history. I do fun activities like find out what is the mythological reason of Thar Desert being formed. They get that to the class. That's an added knowledge.
Excellent.
So very many examples. Yeah, so even Ishita ma'am has commented that Anita Guruji ma'am is a part of our team, and we do it very often.
Okay.
So everybody is appreciating that, ma'am. This is a wonderful session and very nicely explained.
God, thank you, God. Namaste to all. Okay, great. I must congratulate all those people, all the teachers who are doing great work there. You know who does this kind of a work? People who have basically an innate ecstasy in teaching. Such people come out with such wonderful ideas and such principles also promoted. And I'm sure you're all doing a wonderful job there. Great. One more thing, you do it. This is something which you had not been doing. I'm sure many schools don't do it. Efforts. How do you assess efforts taken by the children? See, as parents, most of you will be parents also of school-going children. So you will be teaching them more. All the parents tell me, when I was principal, they used to come and sit with me and cry, madam, itna padaya unko. And every question I was asking, and he was answering everything beautifully well. And then and he wrote the examination, and I asked him, Did you do it? He studied very well at home. I'm sure 100% because I was sitting with him. I corrected. He answered all my questions. He went to the school. I was very happy. The same questions came in also. And when he came back also, I asked him, did you do well? But when the marks came, he has got only 30 or 35. What do I do? Where has my son gone wrong? Have we ever realized these kinds of, most of the principals and teachers might have come across with similar situations. So I have done a little bit of a research on it. I understand that, there is something called, certain children are pretty fast, extreme speed in learning. What happens is that the neuromuscular coordination, what is being taught here, has to come to the fingertips to write the answer, isn't it? So when the question is seen, oh, mama has taught me this beautiful, I know the answer, da, 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 he will start writing. So in his mind, he has written the answer, but the speed of the mind, the brain, is not shown in the neuromuscular coordination. The answer is incomplete because he would have missed out several words, which are sometimes very crucial words. If it is a definition, that has to be reproduced as it is. So you would be missing out certain important words. Like if Boyle's law has to be suggested at constant volume or a constant temperature, all these words are important for him. So he would have missed all those things. He has thought. The point is that the child has thought, but has not written. The fingers have not written them. This is why some of your children are not able to get marks the way they wanted. But the children, can anyone say that the child has not put in efforts? We always say that you have to put in more efforts, madam. Parent ko bol rahe, madam, your son has not done well. You have to put in more efforts. He has to put in more efforts. The mother says, sitting there, he has put in more efforts. So then the schools need to think seriously. Such children who have put in more efforts, how do you grade their efforts? It is for you to find out. Efforts grading, I have done it. We have assessed the children for the efforts. It worked wonders, and the children felt so good. Though I have not written the answer correctly, my effort has been appreciated. This is something which you have to think about. Then appropriately placing the kid, which is what you do usually based on your assessment card. I mean your report card, which you are doing. The report card has to reflect henceforth, at least if you are doing something now for the online classes and offline classes, good enough, no problem. I was telling in the morning to the teachers that assessment for online and assessment for offline classes should be two different things. The same yardstick again do not apply. Club them together into creating a proper report card, a student portfolio. Your old portfolios do not carry enough meaning. It has to be more of statements in your report card. This is very important for you because the student also has been learning from different sources. So you have to assess him thoroughly well. So appropriately place the child. Do not accuse him of not doing well or doing well. Appreciate if they are doing really well. If they are not doing well, embrace them, tell them that still they can hope for the best. We have wonderful methods to do it. Put those children whom you feel intellectually they have not captured enough of what you had been teaching, put them under your best teachers and tell the best teachers, go bataiye. Best teachers, when I mean to say not the capability wise alone, those who have enough patience to work with those children and bring them up. This is some human service that you are going to do to the parents. The best form of assessment, according to me, is the synoptic assessment. What is a synoptic assessment? Combination of all three learning styles: academic mastery, affective and social, affective domain development and psychomotor development. If the children are able to acquire the mastery, the academic mastery that you have been teaching them, great. With that knowledge, they are utilizing to express their skills, do activities, and present themselves in a better way, and developing the physical ability to express, then you have a synoptic form of assessment. At the moment, what the schools are doing is not a synoptic form of assessment. If some schools are doing, like Anita Guruji ma'am has started it off, I believe, then do extend it to the others also, and then please do it exhaustively. Addressing the diverse needs, one or two more slides only, and I'm winding it up. Addressing the diverse needs, if you see the graph, this bell curve, you can see this much of students in a class will have a below average students. And most of the children will be in the average group. And here you have the above average group. So basically you have three groups of children in a class with diverse needs. So you will have to, it just means that you need diverse assessments. Okay, look here, differentiated instruction leads to differentiated evaluation. Look here, if you see, here is the student, here is the teacher. Teacher, then instructional practice, here is the topic, here is the context. So this is connected like this. The base of this pyramid, if you see, the base of the pyramid is what all students will learn. Something or the other, all students will learn. Okay. But in the middle of the pyramid, if you see, what most of the students will learn. Okay. Not all. Okay. But most of the students will learn this part. Here, you can see the tip of the pyramid, if you come in, what some students only will learn. Okay, so the teacher has a responsibility. The principal has a responsibility to assess, to analyze. I am requesting you, principals, if you are already in the habit of doing an academic analysis of your school, that is really brilliant if you are doing. If you are not doing that, please start doing it. It is a mathematical procedure, a little extensive procedure, but once you do it, aadat ho jayega aapko. Automatically, the whole things will set in. It will project what your children are doing with respect to the academic goals that you have set in, because this is what is going to assist you towards formative learning. So here, if these many children are doing excessive great things, they are learning more than what quickly they are learning. Here they are learning everything. Okay, fine. Here they are struggling. If we are giving a single question paper to assess the three class of students, is it justified? And if we say that these group of children are getting 99 and 100, it is actually belittling them, because they are capable of more than that. They are more than that capable. Okay, and we have to stretch this group of children to here, and this group has to come here. The pyramid, the middle of the pyramid, the lower, the base of the pyramid should come here to the middle of the pyramid, and the middle of the pyramid should come here, and the tip of the pyramid, where will it go? You have to create they are called the gifted kids. Are we taking care of the gifted children today in school? We are very worried about the poor performing children. Oh, unko nahi aata hai, unko karna chahiye, because results otherwise will be very bad. So we take care of the poor children, the average children. We ignore the gifted children. Teachers and principal, it is my humble request that you are going to have an Einstein or a Ramanujam in those gifted children. So provide ample opportunities for the gifted children also in your assessment. Then this is the progress of the skills. It happens. If you see here, grade 1 to 4, this is how it happens. The first level is, this is actually Bloom's taxonomy. So they start learning by remembering, then they understand, then they apply, then they analyze, then they evaluate, and they create. By the time they reach the fourth standard, they would be in a particular stage where they can create stuff. And from grade 5 to 10, they start from where this is stopped. This fourth standard has stopped there. They have stopped at creating. Now they will start their procedure again, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and when they reach here in 10th standard, where they are to walk into the world. They are walking into the world. So they are ready to create new knowledge. So this is how the progression of skills happen. This you have to keep in mind. Now, asking good questions, right questions help the teacher understand whether the children have understood the concept or not. This is extremely important. We usually don't ask good questions to the children. Allow the children to ask questions. Let us answer give the answers. Or like the Upanishadic times, during Upanishad time or the Socratic way of learning, the Shishya, the disciple used to ask a doubt. The guru doesn't give an answer. They don't give an answer, but they in turn ask another question. And from that question, they proceed to another question. So these are different ways and means by which the students learn. Asking the right questions will help them to be inquisitive. Asking the appropriate doubts will help the children proceed to the fullest of all learning. How do you encourage that? You will encourage the children by making the children take the ownership of their learning. So long you were doing the ownership. If the children did not perform, it was considered that the teacher has not taught. Maybe partly it is true, but then I would say in tomorrow's time, it is not so. The children had ample opportunities to learn. So they have to only take the ownership of learning and make the children debate, discuss, and ponder over unexplored areas. If a particular topic is taken, if, for example, if a pandemic itself is taken as a discussion, okay, it is a respiratory kind of a disease that is being brought in, then a discussion can be, a debate can be taken up. And how, why is it that? Why is it that our people are not responsible enough to contain the disease? Why are we still increasing on the increasing rate it is going? Have a debate, have a discussion. Let the children come with solutions for that. Okay? And ask always the uncomfortable, most uncomfortable questions. That brings in the creativity for sure, 100% sure. All right. And so importance of constructive feedback because it helps improvement. It's formative in nature because that's what I told you, how you are conducting a PTC. It's extremely important. Gives confidence to the children to perform very well, make them very conscious, help them put more efforts into learning and helps the parents to monitor. And then assessment must be for learning, not off learning. Off learning is summative, which you are already doing. I'm not saying it is bad, but which you are doing through terminal examinations or annual examination for a question of promoting the child to the next class. When I was the principal, I must tell you this, that I hate detaining children. I hate detaining children, including the 9th standard, because you do not know. Because you do not know when the spark will come into the children. When that spark happens, the children, you don't have to stop them at all. And the right kind of a teacher, the right kind of an approach is given to the children. Any child can perform. And why to waste an year? For the sake of your school results and name and fame and coming in the newspapers. After all, we are all in school premises to teach the children, isn't it? Touch their lives. Let us all touch their lives. Let us be remembered for not teaching physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, or English, let the children remember us for teaching them life, for touching them. That is what we are all about. And thank you so much. Thank you, Collins. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Rageshri, and everyone present there in Collins' team, and my very beloved principals and teachers. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi. I so wish I could have, I could read each and every comment that has been, pouring in. Probably when I talk, when I give the presentation, you can go through the comments, the compliments, various compliments that are pouring in. I would request all of you to please stay till the end, till 5:45, because then we will have your questions addressed at 5:30 if you have any questions. So thank you again, Dr. Ravi, for a wonderful webinar and sharing so many useful tips with all of us. So I now invite Mr. T.M. Denny, Director Sales, to speak a few words, please. So you're there.
Hello. Hi, thank you, Niti. Respected Dr. Vijay M. Ravi, respected and distinguished educators of Western India. Good evening to all of you. In fact, I said Western India. This program is been live on the YouTube and through the Zoom. Thousands of people are watching at this point of time, and I'm very grateful and excited about this program which is happening, and creating a lot of I think 1,000 more people have actually registered, and I think in YouTube live is being watched by many more people. So it's a great occasion for us, and thank you very much for all of you to come and join and taking time off to join us for this program. Yes, I would like to talk about a few words about HarperCollins. HarperCollins is one of the oldest and most distinguished publishing houses, and we have operation across the world. HarperCollins India has got a subsidiary, Collins Learning, and this is a subsidiary of Collins Learning UK and US. So we have operations across the world. Now we publish in India, we publish books for CBSE, ICSE, and internationally, the Cambridge curriculum is actually endorsed Collins books, and we are one of the publishers for endorsed publishing group. So having said that, our experience in publishing, first dictionary, Collins Dictionary is the first dictionary in the world. It has come out from this publishing group. And the atlas, the most authentic atlas, which is the Bartholomew's Atlas, is published by HarperCollins, and still we are publishing it, hundreds of years old now. So having said this, during this pandemic, actually, of the last few months, what we are seeing, we face the same kind of experience across the world. Educators across the world is online now. I mean, they were the most hesitant people to come online at some point of time. So today, if you look at it, they are the people who are always on online. So we have been with the schools. We were interacting with them. So what we found out that there is a small disconnect while the online classes are going on, how to do the assessment or the assignments or even homework. Think about a situation where students are at their home, parents are sitting near to them. You see the teachers are somewhere else. You have seen that, the school authorities are somewhere else. So how to connect all this? So our experience across the world has shown us that, there is a solution for this. And we were thinking about a solution, but we found that some solution in a learning management system, LMS, but it's very costly for Indian schools to adopt to it. So what we thought, there should be a cost effective, and it should be very economical, and at the same time it should be a per student cost, and we can get a better solution for the problems what I have just explained to you earlier. We can find a solution together. And we were in touch with the schools, because starting from the book distribution that has actually disrupted due to the pandemic. So there was an issue for that. So we were with the schools, understanding their requirement and their problems. So logistical issues. Then we found this particular problem. If you do an assessment, the teachers need to get the physical copies or the hard copies of the particular assessment from the parents' house from the student house to the teacher's home. It's a lot of problems we were facing. So to find, by click of a mouse, you can reach the parent, you can reach the student, you can reach the principal or the administrator of the school teachers, we are making it so comfortable. And this product is called Collins Evaluate. Before launching this product, actually, we did almost 50 schools, the top big schools of India, to go through a pilot, study. And we found that are really appreciative. I mean, the teachers are very, very appreciative about the initiative. So we have actually perfected the art before we come to you. So you will also get 15 to 30 days trial run before you use this or you sign up for the thing. So it's a very, very economical, effective tool for the teachers and the students and the larger, educators. I mean, schools like yours. So to talk about it further and to launch it, I would now call upon Ragasri. She is the head of marketing and product of HarperCollins India. And thank you very much for joining us, and all the very best for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Denny, for that background. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday evening. Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Every time I hear you, I'm mesmerized, honestly. So thank you so much for the wonderful session on assessments for the holistic development of students. That is the key takeaway that I have from today's session, that it should focus on holistic development. And you have emphasized on how teachers shape up children's lives. It reminds me of what Mahatma Gandhi had said. Persistent questioning and healthy inquisitiveness are the first requisite for acquiring learning of any kind. And that is what we had tried to spread yesterday on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti. So what better time than today to celebrate that? As we know that we are all living in unprecedented times, a time which is uncertain, but also a time when the whole system has gone for an overhaul, the school system. The United Nations actually states that the COVID-19 pandemic has created the largest disruption of education systems in history, affecting nearly 1.6 billion learners in more than 190 countries and all continents. But we have also witnessed a metamorphosis in how education is delivered across our country. You have switched to online classes almost overnight. Educators emerged as a beacon of hope and forerunners in this transformation. We would like to congratulate all of you for working tirelessly to ensure that learning never stops. Our future is in your hands, and you have risen to the occasion and said we can. And as your trusted partner, we have supported you at every front, and now we are here to launch another tool which will empower you and the students alike. That is something that Dr. Ravi also stressed upon, that assessments have to be of varied kinds, pen and paper, activities, etc. So you choose what suits your students best. Today we have gathered here to launch a program that is Collins Evaluate. And as Denny rightly said, it is a tool that is convenient, very easy to use. It has been tested already in the market, and we've received great feedback. It is also something that would help you assign coursework and tests to students. So you can test it yourselves and go through it and see how you can make the best use of it. So over to you, Nidhi, for that. Thank you everyone again for joining. Nidhi, over to you.
So, good evening, everybody. I'm sorry, I just lost connection for a few seconds. Yeah, so welcome to the launch. Yeah, so as Denny sir said, right, so we are going to unfold this now. Who are we and what do we do? Yeah, so we are Collins Learning. I'm very proud to say that. So Collins Learning is the educational division of HarperCollins Publishers, an international publishing house with a 200-year-old publishing legacy. We are one of the fastest growing textbook publishers in the country, having published school books for all core as well as supplementary books subjects catering to different Indian education boards, be it CBSE, ICSE, or state board schools. We continue to deliver up-to-date, engaging student resources and exceptional teacher support to help schools tackle new initiatives and utilize the latest technology. So the journey from March till now, as Rageshri said, has been a roller coaster ride for all of us, right? So we have transitioned from normal classes to virtual classes. We have adopted and embraced blended learning. But a question remains unanswered. How do we track the progress of the students? So the expectations from the educators are manifold. And that is to create papers, prepare reports, share reports with parents, receive acknowledgements, and track the progress. So expectations are many, and the solution is one: Collins Evaluate. Yeah. So what are the benefits that we get? What is Collins Evaluate? It is a secure, as Rakeshri said, it is a secure and convenient online tool for educators to create assignments. It is a simple and innovative tool which is available for all grades from pre-primary to standard 8 and covers all the subjects: English, maths, EVS, science, Hindi, social studies, computer science, and general knowledge. So what are the benefits that we get by using this platform? There are preloaded questions. So there are 30,000 plus questions which are already inbuilt, embedded into this platform. So that it is seamless integration. So it works seamlessly on all the mobile, on all the electronic devices, be it a laptop, a tab, an iPad, a laptop, a computer, a PC, every device. And it works on very low bandwidth. The questions, the objective type of questions get automatically evaluated on the system. The reporting happens soon after the child has done the assessment or the assignment. And we also, you don't have to worry, we also provide onboard training to the teachers, and we also handhold them throughout the year. Yeah, so there are three accesses. The admin access to start with, the admin is also the head of the school or the coordinator, the supervisor, right? So they can manage users, they assign the subjects and the grades to the teachers, and they can even delete users. So maybe a teacher leaves the school or a particular child leaves the school. So, the admin can delete the child or the teacher, or allocate, classes to the teachers or the subjects to the teachers. They can view assignments. The admin, the head of the school, can actually view assignments of all the classes, of all the subjects, what the teachers have assigned to the children. And the admin can also view all sorts of reports. So the school report, the class report, the teacher report, and the student report. And also the feedback that the teachers give to the students. What is the feedback that is given, and whether the parents have acknowledged it. So everything the admin will be able to see. And this is the teacher access. The teachers can create users for her own classroom. She can create assignments, so she can use the questions which are already fed into the system, which are embedded into the system, but also add the questions from her own library or her own books, her own subjects that she is teaching, or maybe from anywhere else. And there's another very important tool, whereas it is a library. So the teacher can also upload documents to the library for extra reading. So for example, so we are sitting on Saturday, Monday you have a class, Monday you assign some work to the children, and on Wednesday they come prepared. So you have uploaded the documents to the library, and the children go through it on Monday, on Tuesday, and Wednesday they present the topic to you, as Dr. Ravi said. So the assessments is ongoing, right? So, and the children should be able to do something. And the teachers can review the reports. So how the teacher assigns the task, the courseware, the homework to the children do it, and it gets automatically corrected. The teachers can view the reports of the children and also give an individual feedback to every child, right? So this is the student portal, wherein the child can see the pending assignments, the assignments that the child couldn't do during a stipulated time, and the completed assignments, how many assignments the child completed for which all subject, the document library where the teacher has uploaded certain resources for the children to view, and finally the feedback the teacher has given for each assignment. Right, so I'll take you to the platform after this, just after a few minutes. So in the right, so it works on very low bandwidth as well. So it caters to grades pre-primary to classes 8, deals with all the subjects: English, math, science, social studies, EVS, computer science, Hindi, and GK. It includes 30,000 plus questions and has both objective and subjective questions embedded. So the objective questions get automatically evaluated, and we provide support to the educators. Yeah. So this is where you can register. So as Dennis has said, you can actually go for a trial period for about 15 to 20 days or a month. You can try this platform for yourself, and you can write to us on this email ID. You can note down the number. Mr. Sham Patel is a regional sales head. So you can note down his number, take a screenshot of this page probably. You can contact him or write to him. Okay, so now I'll show you very quickly the platform. So this is how the platform looks like. A very neat and clean, convenient tool. So I'm just not saying for the sake of saying. I'm so excited because I have been a teacher once. So I'm so excited about this, the convenience that it brings about, and everything remains here. Right. So I'm a mother of 13 years old child. So my child started the online classes in the month of April. The school started the online classes in the month of April, and little do I know how many assignments have been assigned to her, for each grade so far. You being the educators, you being the heads of the schools, you know how many efforts you are putting in, right? So, and maybe some of the efforts are not being acknowledged. So this is a platform where everything will stay. So just to see this platform, you can view this demo. So you would have made a note of the URL. I'll show it again at the end of the session so that you can make a note of it. When you go to this URL, you can view this demo, whatever I have spoken, you can view this demo. It is actually in detail. So it's a 12 minutes video, which will give you a complete idea of how this platform works. So it will train you on how to actually use this platform. And you can register for free by filling this form, a very small form. You can register and go for the trial period for 15-20 days. Now I'll make you go through how it looks like for a teacher. So the teacher's platform looks like something like this. This is what I told all of you, that these are managed users. The admin can access can assign the work, assign the subjects and the classes to the teachers. They can view sorry, this is the teacher platform, I'm sorry. So create users and also create assignments, right? So as you can see very quickly, create objective and create subjective assignments. So for each class, there are many questions. In all, we have more than 30,000 questions available. You can also see here library, right? So you can upload anything to the library, maybe so if you want the children to see a YouTube video, right? So you can put the online URL there. You can put a PDF, you can put an image, a document file, you can upload an Excel file, or you can also upload an audio there, right? So you can put anything and everything, but the size of one particular file should be just 25 MBs, right? So this is very convenient. And you can view the report. You can view the report of each and every child, how the children have fared in the particular assignment. You can create a feedback for the children, right? So for each and every child, for each and every assignment, you can create a feedback, as Dr. Ravi also mentioned, right? So during the PTM, you need to mention what is it that the child should be working on. If it is vocabulary that the child should be working on, so while writing this feedback to the parent, the teacher can actually write, so one vocabulary word every day. If the child goes through one vocabulary word every day, it will really help in enhancing his vocabulary. So this was the teacher's portal. I will quickly take you to the students portal, and we will see this also very quickly. Yeah, so this is the student platform. As you can see here, so this is Nidhi Varma only. And as you can see that I have not been very responsible. So many assignments were given to me. And the time was also mentioned, the date was mentioned. So the teacher assigned the work to me on 30th September, but my work got expired. So I couldn't do it on time. So the time that she allocated to me was 11:30 to 12:30, and I couldn't do it on time. So the test got expired. Right. So both subjective and objective assignments were given to me. And these are the completed assignments. So I haven't done anything for subjective, but I have done for objective, right? And the scores are also here. I can also see where I have gone wrong, what is right, what I haven't attempted, right? Even I can view my report, and I can also view the remarks which are mentioned by the teacher to me. In my case, Mr. Binoy Thomas was one of my teachers, right? And so he has written for me, assignment not done. Dear parent, please take care. And the parent will got, so as you can see here, the parent has already acknowledged, right? So the parent has acknowledged the feedback coming from the teachers. So in simple words, we do so much we do so much, and the efforts somewhere get unrecognized. And forget about being unrecognized. It is also about so many things are given to the children so that it stays in just one place, right? So that you don't have to make many Excel sheets and maintain records. This is the right platform for you. This is all that I have to say, and I will display. We just request you to, register here using this. I will display the link again so that you can make a note of it. And then the ground is open for questions for all of you. If you have any questions, you can raise your hands, or you can use the chat window to ask questions either to us or to Dr. Ravi. Thank you so much. So we'll wait for your questions and comments, if any. Any questions, anybody?
There are quite a few, Nidhi,
Okay.
in chat. So one question.
So Savita ma'am, yes.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, Rageshri. Yeah, so Savita ma'am, can we monitor students while writing online assessments? Yes. So ma'am, there are two things. One is, so this is an assignment platform. Yes, you can monitor. So the children can keep their camera open. And in case of both subjective and objective assignments, they can keep their camera on. You have assigned the work, they're doing it, and they upload the subjective assignment then and there itself. So the moment they upload it, you get it, you check it, and you upload it back so that it stays on this platform, right? So you can actually check it via the virtual tools. You can check it using the virtual tools and put it back, upload it back on this platform so that even the parent, the child can see where he has gone wrong. So I hope I have answered your question, Savita ma'am. Parilekha ma'am, Pralekha ma'am. Yes, there will be a certificate for this. And okay. So Shalini ma'am, are there sample questions available for teachers? Ma'am, there are 30,000 plus questions. So for all the subjects that I listed out, and from pre-primary to classes 8th. How many students can attempt at a time? All of them. But the good news, Sadav ma'am, is that you can even assign work to few children at one time. So you can either assign it to the entire class, or if you want some children, let's say 4 to 7 children, to practice more questions, you can even give some assignments to them. So just to them. So you have that choice of giving it to everybody or just giving it to few children. Any other questions? How we assess? Okay, what was that question? I missed out. There are many questions pouring in. I'll just try to. Okay, so can you please share the website again for your reference? Okay, for our reference. Sure, ma'am. I will certainly. Yes, please make a note of this. You can take a screenshot. You can take a screenshot, and so at the end, I will also request Mr. Shyam Patel to address all of you. Okay, so coming to questions. Yes, please. Any questions? Any more questions? Okay, I'm just trying to keep pace with the questions that are coming in. Okay, what is the subscription fees? Ma'am, you can, it is very minimal, as Mr. Denny also said, very minimal. Please try it out. We would want you to try it out, go through this, see the demo, register, use the trial period for about 15, 20, 30 days, and then come back to us. Yeah, with a good news that yes, you want to go for it, and we'll support you. And the best news is also that whatever, little changes that you want us to incorporate on the platform, we are okay doing that. Please say capacity of number of students. Ma'am, any number. Please see this platform, check it for yourself, any number. So you have 60 children, 70 children, you have 40 children, right? So every child will be, we will be able to accommodate here. So this is a platform for you. So just to give you a background of why this platform. So ma'am, ever since, from March till now, We have done so many webinars, and in every webinar, the teachers have shared with us what is their challenge. The challenge is to track the progress. The challenge is to actually, just have a platform where the parents, where the children, where the teachers, where the admin head, where the school head can actually see everything all together, right? So, so that's where we are coming from. Grade 9th and 10th, Pratibha ma'am, please try this platform first if you like it. So for 9th and 10th, we can definitely have it, but we won't be able to give you any questions for that. Since we, as Collins Learning, we have books from classes pre-primary to classes 8th, and not for 9th and 10th. So I'm afraid you'll have to put your own questions, but we can make this platform available for your 9th and 10th graders as well. So can students move from one tab to other while solving online paper? Ma'am, they'll have to be here itself on this platform. They can move their, so they have to be on this, they have to log in once only. They can log out and log in again. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. What about Sanskrit, ma'am? Is there Sanskrit language? Ma'am, you can put your own questions if you would like to. So you can, the Sanskrit teachers can also, the Sanskrit Marathi teachers can, or the Gujarati teachers can also actually also have, they can avail the benefit. They can put down their own questions. And also, ma'am, for the document library, I think the document library will be of very good use to you. Yeah, so you can actually upload the material there and the children can study it for the test or maybe for the discussion in the class. Any other questions? Acha, subjective assignments, how to do. Okay. So ma'am, one thing is, please go through the platform, through the, just a minute, sorry. So please go through the platform. I'll just escape this and share my screen. Yeah. So please, we would request you to go through the platform, right? And so there are two things. One is objective questions, subjective questions. For subjective questions, there are questions which are all, there are papers, there are worksheets which are already fed into the system. You can also upload it. Once you upload it, the children will download it. They will do the test. Maybe if it is a Word document, they can do it then and there itself. And they can upload it back so that you can see, you can get an access to what the children have done. If it is a PDF or PDF also can be uploaded, right? So what you can do is you can make them write on a piece of paper or the notepad or the notebook that they're using. They can click a picture and upload the picture there. Okay, so would you like to be unmuted, any one of you, to speak with us? During the trial period, can we give free access to the students as well? Okay, so you can create question papers for your children. Definitely, you can create assignments, you can give it to them. You have to assign. So the teachers can assign. Once you see it, you'll get to know it. That's why I'm just insisting you go there. Whatever I said, you can actually see it in the demo version, in the demo video, and you can assign the work. You can actually give, maybe you can test it with 5, 10 children or 15 children or 30 children, however you wish to. Is it possible to control their browsing while taking the test? Yes, ma'am. They will not be able to log into some other browser when they're using this. So I'll not take away your excitement. You have to go through it to believe it. Yeah. So if any one of you, how is checking possible? So for objective, you don't have to check, ma'am. Anita, ma'am, you don't have to check for objective. Objective gets automatically corrected. For the subjective, yes, you'll have to check. But there is a provision where you upload, they download, they do the test, they upload it back. And then you can, using your virtual tools, you can correct the assignment or the assessment and upload it back onto the system. So it stays, the entire thing stays there. So which link? Okay, so I'll just show you the link again. I'll just show you the link again. Just a minute, please. Yes, so this is the link. Please make a note of it again. And if you have any questions for even Dr. Ravi, you can raise hands. If you have further questions, we would be happy to address those. And we're really, so this is a platform which, thank you so much, Rageshri, for mentioning that. You can actually copy the link, what Rageshri has typed into the chats. Okay, so Trupti ma'am, for descriptive subject, Hindi, how to assess and how to evaluate virtually, I would again request, I would insist all of you, I would insist that you please go through the platform details once, right? Register there, and you have a number which has been shared with you. Either you can write to school support at harpercollins.co.in, or you can call Mr. Shyam Patel. I am sure Mr. Shyam Patel is going to be, getting a lot of inquiries. So please do call him or write to him in case you have any query. Your queries will get resolved. As I said, it's a very, very convenient platform, very easy to use, very user friendly, very, very user friendly. You will actually be led to how things are to be done here. So you'll not face any challenge. Okay, so Preeti, can we unmute V Ram sir, please? W Ram sir. Preeti?
Doing it, Mide.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you. And well, thank you so much. While he's getting unmuted, thank you so much for taking our time to be with us. We would again request and insist that you
Good
go through
evening,
this
ma'am.
platform. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. This is Ram from Nagpur. Actually, ma'am, you have spoken about the objective type. Objective type, they do not require for the correction. It is auto corrected and auto scoring. That I do understand. But when we talk about the objective type, it consists of MCQ, true and false, then fill in the blanks. These all consist of objective type, ma'am. But for fill in the blanks, if a small mistake happens while typing the answer, if it is not exactly same as the answer given by the creator, so there will be objection that no score will be given for that. So here, can you clarify that point? Because objective type, you said, doesn't require any any markings or any corrections for that.
Very good question,
For
sir.
fill in the
Very,
blanks, yeah. Fill in the blanks, how
yeah.
to do.
So very good question, sir. Very, very good question. So if a child, if the answer is tree and the child would have written three, the child will definitely be given a wrong there. If it is a spelling mistake also, the child will definitely be given a wrong. So this is where the teacher steps in. What is it? The teacher can actually ask the children that what is it? What was the intent of the child writing when he was writing this? So there were three ducks or there were three ducks. So the child would have written tree and not three, right? So the answer will be wrong. The teacher, this is where the teacher steps in and asks the child that what were you aiming to write? And this is where she gets to know that the spellings were wrong. The child needs assistance in the spellings, right? So this is, so one thing is for sure that the teacher's manual work is getting reduced. So, and this technology is going to stay, right? So even when the children come back to school, still if you use this platform, a lot of your work will get saved, right? You'll not have to do at least the objective type questions. You can actually, because the children have missed out on 1 year, absolute 1 year, right? The entire year they have missed out on interaction with each other, interaction with their friends, with you, right? So they need all those the skills have to be developed in the children, right? So the skill development has to happen. So you, while you focus more on their skill development next year when they come back, this platform will take care of all the manual work that you have to do, right? So so I'm sure, because so I think you had asked a very good question and I hope you have got your answer. You have been muted, but you can definitely enter it into the chat box whether I have been able to answer your question. Just Kiran ma'am, yes, your certificates will reach you via email. You were there in the morning as well, so so uh, in primary classes, starting with a capital letter, ending with a full stop, will that also be taken into consideration since they do not know typing? So ma'am, for pre-primary, that's what, please see the kind of questions that we have put on pre-primary. We'll give you, so register, please, register on the platform. Mention your grade. We'll give you the access of pre-primary. See it for yourself to believe it. And then when you come back to us, we'll address this question as well.
Please unmute. Preeti, can you please unmute Trupti Nasre, madam? She wants to say something.
Trupti, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, Sham, just a second. Shruti.
Trupti Nasre.
Thank you, Shalini, ma'am. Thank you so much. Any other questions, anybody? Or do you have any comments? Would you like to say something?
Nidhi, can you tell me the username because I cannot locate it.
Trupti, ma'am.
Sure.
Trupti Nasre, ma'am, right?
Trupti.
Trupti. Trupti.
Yeah.
Trupti Nasre.
I thought Shrishti. Yeah, she's unmuted.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can we also see you?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Trupti, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, great to see you. Thank you. Yes, please.
Okay. One question is there, ma'am. Did you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं?
Yes.
हाँ जी मैम, बिल्कुल.
मैं हिंदी पढ़ाती हूँ अरविंद इंडो पब्लिक. हाँ, अरविंद इंडो पब्लिक स्कूल में मैं हिंदी पढ़ाती हूँ, कोर्स भी कराती हूँ. मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि ड्यूरिंग दिस ऑनलाइन टीचिंग हमें असेस करने के लिए मुश्किल जा रहा है क्योंकि डिस्क्रिप्टिव पेपर होता है. हर बच्चा इंडिविजुअली अलग अलग थिंक करता है. यदि हम सेम क्वेश्चन या आंसर्स अपलोड करते हैं तो वो प्रॉपर चेकिंग नहीं होगी. तो व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दिस? इट इज नॉट अ गुड असेसमेंट फॉर ईच एंड एवरी इंडिविजुअल. जो भी प्रेजेंटेशन देते हैं वो उनके आंसर्स लिखने का तरीका इट इज डिफरेंट. हाउ वी कैन असेस वर्चुअली?
तृप्ति मैम, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा आपने. Yeah, so can I flip between English and Hindi? चलेगा आपको?
मेरी आईडी. Yes.
Okay.
I am
so बेटी के नाम से कर रहे हैं.
Communicate
in English and Hindi.
In both Hindi and English.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, a very good question indeed, right? So, कोई भी language हो, language is taught to express. Am I audible?
जी, मेरा नाम सुनीता नासरे है. मेरी Yes, ma'am.
सुनीता मैम, जी. So सुनीता मैम, कोई भी लैंग्वेज होती है, वी टीच इंग्लिश और हिंदी और मराठी और गुजराती टू एक्सप्रेस, राइट? सो डिस्क्रिप्टिव में डेफिनेटली उसका एक आंसर तो होना भी नहीं चाहिए, राइट? सो इट इज अबाउट व्हाट द चाइल्ड फील्स इज राइट, है ना? सो इट इज अबाउट द चाइल्ड्स एक्सप्रेशन. इट इज अबाउट व्हाट द चाइल्ड फील्स इज राइट. सो उसमें डिस्क्रिप्टिव में तो हम कहेंगे भी आपको कि आप कोई एक स्टैंडर्ड आंसर डालिए भी मत, क्योंकि देखिए सब्जेक्टिव में डिस्क्रिप्टिव टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन वेरी डिफिकल्ट. नहीं, तो मैं बताती हूँ आपको. तो डिस्क्रिप्टिव में, अगर आप डिस्क्रिप्टिव में आपने एक पेपर अपलोड किया, बच्चे ने अपने लैंग्वेज में जो भी उसकी समझ से आंसर लिखा, ठीक है? सो इफ इट इज अ फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन है, उसमें तो कुछ हेरफेर नहीं हो सकती ना, उसमें तो सेम ही आंसर रहेगा. बट अगर कोई हॉट्स काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन है, हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग क्वेश्चन है, एनालिसिस या क्रिएशन या कुछ इवैल्यूएशन टाइप का क्वेश्चन है, तो उस क्वेश्चन में तो कोई भी आंसर हो सकता है. हर पर्सपेक्टिव मैटर करता है, राइट? सो वो हर पर्सपेक्टिव को हमें सही बोलना ही है बच्चे के, है ना? सो उसमें आप जरूर अपने कमेंट्स लिख सकते हैं. बीइंग अ हिंदी टीचर, आई डोंट हैव टू टेल यू, आप तो एक्सपीरियंस भी लग रहे हैं, मुझे आपको बताने की जरूरत नहीं है कि बच्चों ने अगर डिफरेंट थॉट्स लिखे हैं तो कहाँ पे आपने सही उनको करना है और कहाँ पे उनको सही डायरेक्शन में लेके जाना है, राइट? सो सिर्फ इस प्लेटफॉर्म से क्या होगा और मुझे बहुत खुशी होगी आपसे बात करके. इंडो पब्लिक स्कूल में हमारी इंग्लिश की बुक्स यूज होती हैं. And if you can call actually Shyam sir, Mr. Shyam Patel, and get my number from him, I would definitely love to talk to you in detail. है ना? So, so हमारा ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म है, बच्चे अपना क्वेश्चंस अपलोड करेंगे, आप डाउनलोड कीजिएगा, चेक कीजिएगा और वापस अपलोड कर दीजिएगा, राइट? दिस इज व्हाट द प्लेटफॉर्म इज ऑल अबाउट. तो जो भी यहाँ है, आपकी रिसोर्सेज, आपका टेस्ट, बच्चों का टेस्ट और पेरेंट्स के कमेंट्स, टीचर के कमेंट्स, सब यहाँ रहेंगे इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे. ठीक है मैम, थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other question, anybody? Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Nidhi, can I talk now?
Do we have any other questions? Just a minute, sir. So, Deepti ma'am, yes, the certificates will come to you. Thank you so much, everybody. And before we go, Mr. Shyam Patel would like to speak with you. So he's the regional sales head. He takes care of the entire Maharashtra and Gujarat. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. I would like to thank Dr. Vijay Ravi for such a wonderful session today. Thank you, ma'am. It's always a pleasure hearing you here, listening to you. All your workshops I have attended. I have also learned a lot from these workshops. Thank you, ma'am. Nidhi, about your evaluate. I would request every teacher to, kind of go and register themselves, have a look at the platform. And if any school is looking out for a detailed demo, we can do it individually for their schools also. So what you can do is you can send me a mail or you can call me up and we'll arrange for a demo for your school individually, for your teachers and in detail. And we'll give it a 15 days trial also. So please use it. Give us your feedback. We'll do the customization as to whatever you need, the changes that you want us to do in that. Hope you all had a very good session. Thank you everyone for attending this session. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Thank you, Nidhi.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to our mentors, Mr. Denny TM, Ms. Rageshri Niyogi, Mr. Shyam Patel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Special thanks to you and each and every one of you who took out time to be with us this evening. It means a lot to us. Stay safe, all of you. Dr. Ravi, thank you once again. And everybody, please do take care of yourself. Have a wonderful weekend.
Good night to all of you.
Good night, man. Good night.
Thank you.